This video is for those who want to move to Portugal for studies this year 2026. Now, there are two schools involved here. We have the University of Algarve and the University of Porto in Portugal, okay? Now, these two schools are still open for admissions this year 2026. And if you want to move to any of these schools, please watch this video till the end, okay? Because I'll tell you guys some things that you need to know if you want to move to Portugal or if you want to move to any of these schools which I've mentioned right here, okay? The first school here is the University of Algarve. So very soon, the school will open its second admissions phase, which is from the 30th of March 2026 to the 30th of April 2026, okay? Now, how much will you pay as tuition fees for this school? Now, expect to pay between 1,750 to 4,500 euros for academic year if you want to go into the University of Algarve. This school also will charge you for application fees, okay? From what I know, the application fees for this school is about 50 euros, which is very, very moderate as compared to most schools in Europe, okay? Even most schools in Portugal. However, there's one thing that you must know about this school. Not only this school, but even the University of Porto. If you want to go in there for bachelor's programs, please note that most of the programs there are in the Portuguese language, okay? For bachelor's programs. Meanwhile, if you want to come in for master's programs, then you might find most programs there which are in English language, okay? So please take all this into consideration before you even put in your application for this school. The school asks you to write an entrance exam, okay? I will try to leave a link down below those who want to move to this school this year 2026. For BSc programs, there are so many programs which you can go in for BSc, okay? We have BSc in Hotel Management, BSc in Marine Biology, BSc in Nursing, BSc in Sport, Bachelor's in Tourism, Bachelor's in Sociology, Bachelor's in Civil Engineering, Bachelor's in Biomedical Laboratory Sciences, Bachelor's in Business Administration, and so many other bachelor's programs. So if you want to go in there for bachelor's, please, it might be very, very difficult for you to find a program there which is in English language, unless you want to go study in the Portuguese language, which is also very, very fine by me, okay? Because if you go in there and study in the Portuguese language, it will help you in the long run as compared to those who are going in there to study in English language, okay? So please take all this into consideration. For masters, there are so many programs there which you can find for masters, okay? Before I forget, for those who want to study in this school without having a degree, it is very possible. You can go in there, an option to go in there for vocational training, okay? The school offers vocational training for those who are interested. Documents which are required if you want to go in there for bachelor's degree: you need a high school diploma, your transcript, passport, and so on and so forth. While for masters, you have your bachelor's degree, your CV, your motivational letter, and so many other documents. However, still for master's degree, please take note that each faculty sets its own requirement. So this is completely different for most schools in Europe, okay? And remember, this school deadline ends on the 30th of April 2026, okay? So please do well to apply to this school if you can. The next school year is the University of Porto in Portugal, okay? Now this school is open for admissions for international students from several African countries, okay? However, those who are coming from Portuguese speaking countries, I mean Angola, Equatorial Guinea, I think Mozambique, I think so. Please, you can benefit from a reduction in this school, okay, of up to 45%. Take for instance, if you apply for a program in this school and the program fees is about 6,000 euros. If you are an international student coming from the CPLC, as the Community of Portuguese Speaking Countries, know that you won't pay this money in full, okay? Instead, you will pay about 3,300 euros, okay? So this school will give you a reduction of up to 45%. Concerning the University of Porto, all African students or international students who want to move to this school must apply directly to the faculty, okay? I will leave a link down below for those who are interested. Go there and you'll find more information on how this works, okay? Now for BSc programs, this school has so many programs in BSc and MSc, okay? That is for bachelor's programs and master's programs. And just like the University of Algarve in Portugal, most bachelor's programs in this school are in Portuguese language, which means that if you want to move into this school for bachelor's, you might not find programs in this school which are in English language, unless you want to go study in the Portuguese language for bachelor's programs, okay? Now for tuition fees, expect to pay around or between 3,500 euros to up to 8,000 euros per academic year, okay? While for master's level, expect to pay between 3,500 euros right up to 10,000 euros for master's level per year as tuition fees. So take all that into consideration. Now, some programs which are available for bachelors in this school are bachelors in economics, bachelors in communication design, bachelors in architecture, bachelors in psychology, and so many other programs. For master's degree, you will find more English options, okay? So you have masters in finance, masters in data science, masters in business and management, masters in innovation and entrepreneurship, masters in engineering programs, and so on and so forth. So guys, generally, Portugal is very, very expensive, okay? Most schools in Portugal will charge you very, very high for tuition fees. While for private schools, they will charge you even higher, okay? So please take all that into consideration. If you want to move to Portugal for studies this year 2026, this country will ask you to provide a lot of documents, okay? And you must translate and legalize your documents. So please take all that into consideration. Good luck in advance as you apply for schools in Portugal. Thanks for watching again and see you guys in my next upload.